So, lads, the Ben Simmons whole situation could be falling apart, lads. It could be falling apart. Day by day, this is kind of getting stranger. His whole situation is getting stranger. And there's only one person I think this ends well. It could quite end up quite badly for the Philadelphia 76ers. I think they need to get rid of him. Oh man, this is not going to end well for the young socialite that is Ben Simmons. This is not going to end well for him, because he might end up in one of the worst markets in the NBA. Because at the end of the day, they can trade him to wherever they want, and he's there long term. So I don't think it works out. Like, ideally, the best spot for Ben Simmons would be for him to go to a team where there's no real pressure on him to win. For him to go to, not necessarily a rebuilding team, but have a few young pieces around him. A team that's not really going anywhere. If they do well with Simmons, it's a positive, and there's not going to be eyes on him all the time. If he goes to a small market team, there's not going to be eyes on him. He goes to the Warriors. If he goes to a contender, there's going to be eyes on him. And this guy doesn't play well under pressure. Can we just say that much? When there's eyes on Ben Simmons, he doesn't play well. Again, I always have that one story during his rookie year when he decided just to stand on the sideline when the rest of the team were practicing three-point shooters. They had Trevor Booker out there shooting threes. Let's have a look at what Trevor Booker shot when he was in the NBA. Let's have a look at what Trevor Booker's three-point attempts were in the 17-18 season. In the 17-18 season, he attempted, for the Philadelphia 76ers, we can see right here, he attempted 0.2 three-pointers a game and shot 28%. In his career, he attempted less than half a three-pointer a game. He was practicing his three-point shots, and Ben Simmons wouldn't, because he saw the media there. He would not practice three-point shooting. And that's the problem is, yeah, we've seen him in shoot-arounds. We've seen him in those situations where he's draining threes. But let's be real. I'm just saying, like, again, I'm not Ben Simmons. I'm not an NBA player. Heck, I played one season in the top league in Irish basketball and barely played. Like, that's as close as I got to playing professional basketball. Playing a few years on a team with some pros. That's the closest I ever got. And you can definitely, there's videos of me online hitting 11 three-pointers in a row. That doesn't mean if I went on and tried to play at an NBA level that I wouldn't absolutely, just out of nerves, shoot 5% from three, which would happen. Shooting in an empty gym is easy. Remember all those videos of Hassan Whiteside knocking down threes? Remember all the years of Dwight Howard knocking down threes? Heck, we even saw it from one of the two hype videos. Man, JaVale McGee is a better shooter than 90% of the population. He just isn't going to do it at the NBA level. And JaVale McGee can hit, in practice, probably hits 50% of his open threes. He will not shoot a three in a game. But, yeah. So, there's an article by Bleacher Report by Jake Fisher. Shout out to him. A link to this article will be in the description of the video. Saying here, barring a change of temperature with Dame Lillard. It says here, each of Minnesota, Golden State, Sacramento, and San Antonio. I've never heard San Antonio. Sacramento's a funny one, because he says he wants to be in LA or in Cali, but everyone's joking, let's just send him to the Kings. Appears to be ever important undercurrent, described as a James Harden-like package they're seeking. Yeah, that's not going to happen. But Lillard request, yeah, I think Lillard's wired differently. I think Dame Lillard is wired differently. I don't think there's a trade request for Dame anytime soon. He is wired differently. Some guys are wired. Like, some guys value being with a franchise more than they value getting a championship. And like, there are some people that don't necessarily value joining up with a bunch of players. Like, they don't put any value in that. I think Dame's one of them. So it wouldn't, if he leaves, fair enough. I just don't think he does, from what he said. It says here, like, even freaking Cleveland, it would be difficult for Cleveland to come up with an offer like a pair of Simmons with another clutch agent, Darius Garland. Like, what? Cleveland? Sacramento was no real avenue without sacrificing De'Aaron Fox. I mean, they would have to give De'Aaron Fox with Ben Simmons. No offense to De'Aaron Fox, Ben Simmons is a better player than De'Aaron Fox. But like, Toronto aren't going to do it. And rumors that 3-team swap between Philadelphia, Golden State, and Portland was gaining at least traction. it was stopped by the Blazers. And the Warriors, I don't think the Warriors want Simmons because of Kuminga. Mr. 007 himself. Whereas 00 was pick 7. 007 and Modi Moses. Oh, isn't it crazy that both of these guys have nicknames? Will end up with strange nicknames that might stick. But like Minnesota, imagine sending Ben Simmons to Minnesota. Imagine sending him to Minnesota. And like, I would love to see him with the Spurs. I would absolutely love to see him with the Spurs. But I mean, what do really the Spurs have to give him? Like, Lonnie Walker, DeJounte Murray. I mean, I think these are two guys that look way better in San Antonio than anywhere else. And like, they did lose like Patty Mills' armmates. I think the Spurs might as well just... I don't think it's in Popovich's DNA to tank, but they probably should just tank. But honestly, it's looking nowadays like either the Sixers are going to be stuck with Ben. It's honestly, I'm reading through all these articles and everything about Simmons. And Simmons' expression right now, that's probably his expression that he's having this whole time. Like, he's refusing to talk to Philadelphia, and now he's just suddenly realized that he has to go back to Philadelphia. That, like, there's no way of him getting out. And then also that there's no way of him getting out to somewhere he wants either. It is mad, like, because he only wants to go to Cali. He only wants to go to a big market. The only big market team that has the cap room to get him would be the Warriors if they went and traded, put in Wiggins in a trade. But I mean, the Warriors obviously seem to really like Kuminga, and why wouldn't you? Like, Kuminga probably has more potential to help them out than Ben Simmons in a couple of years. I'm not sure how many minutes Kuminga plays. I've heard like genuine people saying this in the comment section, like in one of my videos, saying, why would they keep Kuminga? We all know rookies don't play in the playoffs. Like what? What type of nonsense are people talking about? Like, do we not forget Hero as a rookie? Do we not forget Mitchell in 2018? Tatum in 2018? Do we not forget Jordan Bell and Kevon Looney on those Warriors teams playing as rookies? Plenty of rookies, even rookies on good teams play in the playoffs. I don't understand the whole rookies don't play in the playoffs narrative. Because rookies can help. Obviously, higher IQ guys, higher IQ vets are the best players to have. But I mean, rookies have been good. Like, rookies have been really good for a lot of good teams. And I think Kuminga could be a good player for the Warriors. I think long-term future, there's no point mortgaging their future when they have a future. Like, if you're Golden State, how much better does Ben Simmons make you than having Wiggins, who seems to be better, Kuminga, and Moody? How much better does Ben Simmons make you than those three guys? A little bit, probably. But how much better is your future having Moody, Kuminga, and Keaton Wiseman? I mean, I think you got a bit of they got a future there if they're Golden State. And if you're Ben Simmons, oh, he's there. This has to be the expression on his face, thinking like, oh my God, I've tried to force through a trade and now I have to come back. Oh my God, now I have to go back to Philadelphia. There's no situation. And if he does go out of Philadelphia, it's probably like Minnesota or or San Antonio, which will be great. Which are great. Well, not Minnesota. Minnesota might actually end up being a half decent landing spot for him. But like San Antonio would be an ideal spot basketball wise. But a young socialite like Ben Simmons, does he really want to go to an organization which will make him put his soul in the soul box? Does he really want to go to an organization where he will be unable to have any sort of personality and just play basketball? Like, it's funny. Everyone's looking at like basketball reasons, being like, oh, we want to see Simmons in certain situations. I think the Spurs would be the single best situation for Ben Simmons basketball-wise. There's no pressure on him. He's not in a big market, and he's with one of the best organizations in basketball. Again, a team with Keldon Johnson as like their third best player, nearly making the playoffs the last 2 years. Like, I mean, the Spurs for their roster have really overperformed the last 2 years. Like, they are still one of the best organizations, best ran organizations, best systems of basketball. So that would be the perfect place for Simmons. But again, a young socialite like Ben Simmons, what's he going to do in Sacramento? Or sorry, not Sacramento, in San Antonio. What's he going to do in Sacramento? But what's he going to do in San Antonio? Oh, this is not going to end well for him. This is not. Everything he's done during the summer, not going to the Olympics. Heck, I actually think if he went to the Olympics, balled out for Australia, won a bronze medal, and you never know, when they were up 15, if they managed to go up 15, he's the single best on-ball defender in the world to guard a 6'10 player like Kevin Durant. Maybe he's able to slow down Kevin Durant, and the Boomers end up winning that. Maybe that's why the Boomers don't have a gold. Is Ben Simmons not good being there? Imagine if he won a gold and suddenly was in the All-Star 5 for the Olympics. You better believe he could go to any destination he wants. He would have had a great, he'd be in a much better position than he's in now. Right now, his trade value is at an all-time low, and the only teams that seem to want him are teams he doesn't want to go to. This is everything he has tried to do to get out of Philadelphia, all failing miserably. And he's probably going back. He's probably going back to the Sixers next year, having burned all his bridges with the franchise, having ignored his teammates, having to just now show up in training camp and, you know what, just try to play some basketball. But anyway, yeah, that's just kind of a funny thing. I cannot say I didn't expect it to happen. I really can't say. And again, he's probably thinking, you know what, the Warriors will just go and make the trade. But after how Kuminga and Moody are playing in Summer League, I don't think they're going to make that trade. So anyway, that's the video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.